Hello and welcome to That's Opera. I don't know about you, but I am fascinated by all this AI stuff and a bit nervous too. Will AI replace us in the near future, and especially will it replace me as a YouTuber? That would be the worst case scenario because I need the money I make from YouTube. All of the true fact, 16 cents I earned from all my 58 videos combined.
Congratulations.
That's why I decided to put AI to the ultimate test. There's Chat GPT and Claude and Gemini and Meta AI and Grok and many others nowadays. So I asked all of them the same question, with the exception of Gemini, because I simply forgot. Hello, I want to create an interesting script for a YouTube channel about opera, but have no idea what to talk about. Can you please suggest me a topic and then write me a detailed script for it? It can be whatever you want, or whatever you find interesting. All of the AIs were totally fascinated by my question and went straight to work. In less than 3 seconds, literally, they all provided me not only with a topic of their choice, but offered detailed scripts. And when I say detailed, I mean detailed. Chat GPT, for example, asked me if I want a script where the length of the pauses I could make between paragraphs or sentences are suggested. Sure. Why not? What I didn't do, I was not trying to improve the first results delivered by AI. I'm sure each of those large language models would have improved significantly if I had asked them several times to clean this section up or that paragraph. But I was interested in seeing with what they would come up all by themselves, without human input. You will see the scripts scrolling through while I'm doing some voiceover, so if you are interested in reading them, you can pause anytime. And of course, I will rate them from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. Here are the topics the different AIs suggested. ChatGPT texted me. If I had the chance to write a script for an episode, I'd focus on moments when opera breaks the fourth wall. Those instances where opera suddenly becomes self-aware, where the boundaries between stage and audience blur. I find this theme rich because it connects theatrical, musical and philosophical dimensions. What happens when opera comments on itself as an art form? Sounds a bit meta and dry and too abstract, but I'm sure one can make an interesting video out of it. ChatGPT provided me with a script, though, that I found quite disappointing. The musical examples it gives, Mozart, Richard Strauss, Poulenc, Britten, seem random, and ChatGPT is failing in analyzing the selected examples in a more coherent and enlightening way. It uses a lot of catchphrases, which left me unsatisfied to an extent. So I was a bit underwhelmed, to say the least. I would give this script a 4 out of 10.
Half-hearted, but better than nothing.
On to the next. Grok suggested the following. The magic of Carmen, Bizet's timeless opera. This topic is engaging for a YouTube channel about opera because Carmen is one of the most popular and accessible operas ever written. It's full of passion, drama and memorable music, making it perfect for both newcomers and enthusiasts, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, the magic of Carmen, that sounds like a possibly popular video. It's written in a casual style Grok seems to think could probably attract younger viewers. And if Grok is right about that, it wouldn't be a bad thing, I guess. It's still factual and generally informative enough, and I wouldn't have felt embarrassed if I had made a video out of it. Much better than the ChatGPT version, and a 6 out of 10. Our third AI large language model is Meta AI. Let's see what, by extension, Mark Zuckerberg finds interesting when it comes to opera. Let's go for a topic that's a bit unconventional but super fascinating. The dark side of opera, tragic love stories and downfalls. I'm not happy with that take on opera because A, tragic love stories and downfalls are the basic bread and butter of 90% of all opera, so it's a pretty conventional topic, but okay. And B, super fascinating. How old does this AI think it is, or my viewers? 12? And unfortunately, the script continues in that same style. Here's just one example. Carmen's fate is sealed when Don José, blinded by jealousy, stabs her to death in a fit of rage. Talk about toxic love. The whole thing is written in a quick and catchy way, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't feel comfortable producing this video. I wouldn't sound like myself. And for each opera, Carmen, Bohème, Tristan and Isolde, Meta AI suggested using just 2 minutes, which is awfully short for an opera like Tristan, whose running time is a bit over 3 hours. But as I said at the beginning, I didn't tell Meta AI to write it again, but this time for a more mature audience or viewership. So, for the version Meta AI suggested, I would give it a 2 out of 10. Sorry, Mark. The fourth AI machine comes from Anthropic and is called Claude. And Claude sent me this. I'd love to help you create an opera script. Let me suggest a fascinating topic that's both accessible and dramatic. The Curse of La Scala, opera's most infamous opening night disaster. I'm intrigued. What's opera's most infamous opening night disaster? Tell me. This would focus on the disastrous 1892 premiere of Puccini's Edgar at La Scala. But I actually think there's an even better story. The night opera stopped a revolution. How Verdi's Nabucco united Italy. This combines music, history, politics and drama. Perfect for YouTube. Let me write you a detailed script. I already like this AI machine. First making an interesting suggestion, then saying, forget it, there's something even better? So I decided to do that video Claude suggested me to do. Let me know at the end what score you would give that one. And here it comes. Imagine an opera so powerful that the audience demanded four encores of a single song, so revolutionary that the Austrian police considered banning it, so emotional that grown men wept openly in the theater. This is the story of how one opera became the unofficial anthem of a revolution and launched Giuseppe Verdi to superstardom overnight. This is the story of Nabucco. Milan, 1840. Giuseppe Verdi is 26 years old and his life is in ruins. In the span of just 2 years, he's lost everything. First, his daughter Virginia dies at 18 months old. Then his son Igilio, barely a year old. And finally his wife Margherita, his childhood sweetheart, dies at just 26. 3 funerals in 2 years. Verdi is destroyed. And to make matters worse, his second opera, a comedy called Un giorno di regno, has just premiered at La Scala, Milan's legendary opera house. It's a complete disaster. The audience actually hisses and boos him off the stage. Imagine creating comedy while your heart is breaking and then being humiliated for it. Verdi is done. He swears he'll never write another opera. He's 26 years old and his career is over. Or so he thinks. Enter Bartolomeo Merelli, the impresario of La Scala. Think of him as the tough love manager who refuses to let talent go to waste. One winter evening, Merelli literally shoves a manuscript into Verdi's coat pocket as they are walking through the snowy streets of Milan. It's a libretto, an opera script, based on the biblical story of Nebuchadnezzar and the Jewish exile in Babylon. Verdi refuses to even look at it. He goes home, tosses it on the table and tries to forget about it. But here's where it gets interesting. The manuscript falls open and Verdi's eyes land on one specific page, one specific line from the chorus of Hebrew slaves. Va pensiero sull'ali dorate, fly thought on golden wings. It's a song about exiles longing for their lost homeland, about prisoners dreaming of freedom. And something clicks. Now, here's what you need to understand about Italy in 1842. It doesn't exist. I mean that literally. There is no country called Italy. Instead, the peninsula is carved up into different kingdoms and duchies, and northern Italy, including Milan, is controlled by the Austrian Empire. Italians are living under foreign occupation. They can't speak freely, they can't organize politically. Austrian police are everywhere. Censors read everything. It's suffocating. And into this pressure cooker, Verdi brings Nabucco. On the surface, it's a biblical opera about ancient Babylon, but everyone knows what it's really about. The Hebrew slaves longing for their homeland, that's the Italians longing for a unified Italy. The brutal king Nabucco, that's Austria. The dreams of freedom, that's the Risorgimento, the movement for Italian unification. Verdi has created the perfect Trojan horse. The Austrians can't ban a biblical opera. That would be censoring the Bible itself. But every Italian in that theater will know exactly what Verdi is really saying. It's brilliant, it's dangerous, and it's about to explode. March 9th, 1842, La Scala Opera House, opening night. The theater is packed. Remember, this is the same stage where Verdi was booed and humiliated just 2 years earlier. He has everything to prove and everything to lose. The opera begins. The story unfolds. Nabucco, the king of Babylon, has conquered Jerusalem and enslaved the Hebrews. The Jewish people are in chains, exiled from their homeland. And then it happens. Act 3, Scene 2. The Hebrew slaves are sitting by the Euphrates River, longing for Jerusalem. The chorus begins to sing Va pensiero, fly thought on golden wings, go settle on the slopes and hills where the sweet airs of our native soil smell soft and mild. The audience stops breathing. By the end of the chorus, people are weeping openly, and then something happens that's actually illegal under Austrian law. They start demanding an encore. The Austrians had banned encores of anything that could be seen as political, but the audience doesn't care. They are clapping, stomping, shouting for Verdi to repeat it, and he does again and again. 4 encores, 4. The police don't dare stop it. The theater is a tinderbox and everyone knows it. Nabucco makes Verdi famous overnight. Suddenly, he's the voice of Italian nationalism. Va pensiero becomes an underground anthem. People whistle it in the streets as an act of resistance. Within a few years, Viva Verdi starts appearing as graffiti all over Italy. The Austrians think, it's just fans celebrating the composer. But it's another code. Verdi stands for Vittorio Emanuele Re d'Italia, Victor Emmanuel, King of Italy, the name of the man who would eventually become the first king of a unified Italy. Even Verdi's name becomes a revolutionary slogan. In 1861, just 19 years after Nabucco premiered, Italy finally becomes a unified nation, and Va pensiero is there for the celebration, sung in the streets, in homes, in hearts. When Verdi died in 1901, over 300,000 people attended his funeral procession through Milan. And what did they sing? Va pensiero, not the Italian national anthem, Verdi's song. To this day, there are movements to make Va Pensiero Italy's official national anthem. So, what makes an opera matter? What makes it more than just entertainment? Nabucco reminds us that art isn't created in a vacuum. Sometimes a song can say what speeches cannot. Sometimes a story from 2000 years ago can speak directly to the present moment. Sometimes beauty becomes resistance. Verdi took his grief, his anger, his hope and transformed it into something that helped change history, from rock bottom to revolution, all through the power of music. That's the magic of opera, that's the power of Verdi, and that's Nabucco. All right. That was the script Claude wrote for me. Did you like it? Did you hate it? From 1 to 10, what would be your score for this script? Let me know what you think. And if you want to hear Va Pensiero in full, I've linked a performance in the description below. A suggestion, by the way, coming from Claude. But I guess I would have been able to come up with that idea all by myself, sans AI. At least I hope. Be that as it may, thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Until then, please take care and ciao.